You're watching The Legal Breakdown. So, Glenn, this one is really interesting. Donald Trump's attorney, Alina Habba, told Judge Kaplan in the E Jean Carroll trial that she was exposed to COVID and wasn't feeling well. And then this photo from Trump's New Hampshire primary party was posted online by a Trump mouthpiece. And then the same kid posted this video online.
I'm getting removed from the Trump event. Why do I have to leave, sir? Can you tell me why? Like, I've knocked more than 12,000 doors for President Trump. I've done everything I'm getting kicked out right now, guys. Guys, I'm getting kicked out of the Trump event for no reason. Like, I'm just standing there supporting Trump. Like, why are you removing me? Can you give me a reason why? Did Trevor tell you to remove me? Like, what did I do? That's wrong. I've done nothing but support Trump since the beginning. Like, why am I getting removed? What did I do? You're not even giving me a reason why. Why? What did I don't even know what I did. They just came up to me and said I have to leave. I don't know. I saw Trevor and the guy just pointed like him to me and said I have to leave. But I don't know. It's ridiculous. I've done more for President Trump than literally anybody in the entire state, and they're removing me from this event. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Unreal. Unreal. They just kicked me out for no reason. For no reason. They just came up to me and said, Dylan, you have to go.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and I'm like the biggest Trump guy here. I was the deputy director of the campaign. I've done everything I possibly can to support President Trump. This is unreal. That's unreal. Absolutely unreal. This is how they treat loyalty in Trump world. I've done nothing but be extremely loyal to this man, and they kicked me out.
And so clearly, he outed Alina Habba for not being sick with COVID, and she had him kicked out of the event, which he live streamed, making everything even more obvious. So first off, can she face any punishment for the obvious lies that she told to the judge here?
You know, it looks like a miraculous recovery to me.
That's right.
I'm sure she wasn't misrepresenting anything to the judge. So here's the thing, Brian. I have seen attorneys get caught in lies before, and judges ordinarily do not take it well. Many judges will order that attorney to show cause why he or she should not be held in contempt if the judge catches them in a lie. Now, what I will say is contempt under those circumstances will generally involve some kind of a relatively minor fine. I've seen $500 doled out by a judge, but far worse, it can result in the judge referring that counsel to a bar counsel for an investigation and possible sanctions for misconduct if it is shown that they lied to a judge. So, you know, the devil's in the details. I don't know precisely what she told the judge. I remember seeing some reporting about her saying that her parents tested positive and she was potentially exposed to COVID through her parents. If she said, look, I'm not feeling well and I may need a day or two of downtime to recover, boy, that's going to put her in real hot water. And I do not expect the judge to just kind of let it go, to not address it. So I suspect next time they're back in court, we're going to be learning more about, you know, what Alina Habba told the judge and whether it's clear that she lied to him.
Well, can Alina Habba's actions kind of have an impact on her client, Donald Trump's E Jean Carroll case? Like, does it have any downstream effects in terms of how the judge might rule?
You know, I don't think the judge would alter any ruling, even if he did catch an attorney in a lie. However, you know, your credibility is all important as a trial lawyer. And if the judge believes that, you know, you may lie to him, you may deceive, you may misrepresent, you may even fudge the facts a little bit, I'll tell you, the judge is going to be far less inclined to take your word for anything, any argument you make. Anytime you make a representation about, for example, well, there's case law supporting this position, judge. You know, once you lose credibility with the judge is not going to hold it against you in a ruling, but the judge will kind of look through those glasses of being hypercritical and questioning of everything that attorney says and does.
What about the jury in this case? Like, will the jury kind of lose confidence in Alina Habba because they've seen how willing and open and shamelessly she would lie in this case?
So if the jury follows the judge's instructions, and juries generally do, They are not to follow any reporting, any news accounts, any social media information about this trial or about these attorneys or any of the participants in the trial. They're only supposed to base their decision on the evidence that's introduced during the course of the trial. So I have a feeling they will know nothing about this, potential Alina Haba lie, and the judge would not bring it to the jury's attention, because that's really, matters of attorney conduct or misconduct. That's for the judge and for bar counsel to take up. That's really not something that a jury needs to be made aware of.
Now, in general, is this something that just happens, or is Alina Haba an especially inept attorney?
Two separate questions. Yes, it happens, and she does seem to be an especially inept attorney. It's clear she's not a trial lawyer. She really has no business representing Donald Trump in a trial matter. Maybe she could be like a spokesperson for him, but she does not know her way around a courtroom. She does not know her way around the rules of evidence. She can't even competently move an item of evidence in. So, and when it comes to attorneys misrepresenting things, as I say, I've seen attorneys, especially on sort of personal matters, when maybe they're caught short and they're not prepared, and they come up with a creative reason as to why they may need a day off. I've seen them get caught in misrepresentations before, and why any attorney would be willing to damage their credibility in the eyes of one judge. And here's the other thing, Brian, what I can tell you is judges talk. In DC, in the courthouse, there is the judges' dining room, and I've been in there as a guest, and the judges talk about everything, including the performance of counsel.
To that point, do you view Alina Haba as a legitimate attorney, or does it seem like she's more interested in doing Trump PR just to supercharge donations?
If she is an attorney who has passed the bar exam and was sworn in as a member of the bar, she is in fact an attorney. She is just not a trial attorney. It would make perfect sense if she was out, running PR interference for Donald Trump, given the way she talks, given her, sort of hyperbolic nonsense that I've seen her spewing on TV. But that's not the kind of thing that plays well in a courtroom, not with a judge, not with a jury. So, make her a PR flack, that makes some sense. But a trial lawyer, that's really not something she should undertake.
How do attorneys reconcile a difficult position, which, admittedly, a difficult position where if they're representing someone like Donald Trump, who basically, for whom spouting his talking points is, the first, second, and third priority, like just this display of undying loyalty, with the fact that, if she's going to do that, she's going to inevitably damage her reputation. She's going to inevitably hurt herself in a courtroom where saying those things is not going to redound to her benefit at all. Like, how do you reconcile those things when you have like a strong-willed client like Donald Trump?
Yeah, great question. I'm not going to say it's easy, but attorneys have a responsibility to the client. That responsibility includes making tactical calls in the case that might make the client unhappy, but you have to zealously represent the interests of your client before the judge, before the jury. What you shouldn't do is cater to the whims of your client, especially when your client, asks you to do and say unreasonable things, take unsupportable positions. You are actually failing your client as an attorney if you are catering to those whims rather than zealously representing his legal interests. Let me give you a quick example. Not infrequently when I was trying criminal cases, there would be a blow-up between the client and the attorney. And what I would come to learn is the client wanted the attorney to put a lying witness on the stand. Let's say a false alibi witness. The attorney would not cater to the client. The attorney would say, it's not in your legal interest for me to do it, because you're going to damage your own position. You're going to damage your own prospects of winning an acquittal. That's what a responsible, zealous, ethical lawyer does for his or her client. You cater to their whims, you're only hurting their legal position.
But this is a recurring theme for Donald Trump. Donald Trump isn't looking for any any long game here. His whole shtick from the very beginning has just been to win the day, to win like whatever short-term 24-hour news cycle he can, and then just figure out what he's going to do after that. So this kind of plays exactly into that whole same strategy. So with that said, we'll obviously stay on top of it and see if Alina Habba does face any repercussions here. In the meantime, on behalf of Glenn and myself, we do wish Donald Trump's attorney a speedy recovery from her bout with COVID. With that said, for everybody watching, if you want to follow along with this stuff, please make sure to subscribe. The links to both of our channels are right here on this screen. I'm Brian Tyler Cohen.
And I'm Glenn Kirshner.
You're watching The Legal Breakdown.